Babaji, the guardian of the ancient spiritual truths of the Himalayas. Dear traveling soul, are you ready to embark on a journey beyond the limits of time and space? Today we will explore a fascinating and almost unbelievable story, the eternal presence of Babaji, the immortal master who has defied the centuries. Together, we will discover the mystical tales, mysterious apparitions, and teachings that have inspired generations of spiritual seekers. Prepare to be amazed, because this story is incredible and continues to inspire thousands of spiritual seekers around the world. But first, please support my channel by liking, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the update bell. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's continue. Who is Babaji? Babaji, also known as Mahavatar Babaji, is a divine being who lives in the remote regions of the Himalayas near Badrinarayan. According to tradition, he has maintained his physical form for centuries, perhaps even millennia. He is considered an avatara, a Sanskrit term meaning descent of divinity into flesh. His spiritual state is beyond human understanding. As his disciple Sri Yukteswar explained, man's limited vision cannot penetrate his transcendental sphere. Babaji is a paramukta, a liberated being who has transcended the cycle of reincarnation and has full power over death. A paramukta rarely returns to a physical body, but when he does, it is to bestow blessings beyond the world. His body, visible as an image of light, is free of any debt to nature. Sometimes he does not cast a shadow or leave footprints on the ground, symbolic signs of his freedom from darkness and material ties. Babaji's mission. Babaji played a crucial role in the spiritual history of India. He gave initiation into yoga to great masters like Shankara, Kabir, and Lahiri Mahasaya, the restorer of a forgotten art of yoga. His mission was to help the prophets fulfill their dispensations by spreading the liberation of the self through yoga, both in the East and in the West. Babaji is constantly in communion with Christ, and together they send out vibrations of redemption. His work is to inspire nations to renounce wars, racial hatred, religious sectarianism, and the harmful effects of materialism. Babaji is fully aware of the current state of modern times, especially the influence and complexity of Western civilization, and recognizes the need to spread the liberation of the self through yoga in both the West and the East. Apparitions and miracles. Babaji is known for his mysterious apparitions and the miracles he performed. For example, during a Vedic ceremony, he struck a disciple with a burning brand, freeing him from painful karma. On another occasion, a man threw himself off a mountain to demonstrate his devotion, and Babaji resurrected him, welcoming him as a disciple. Babaji may appear in slightly different forms to different devotees, sometimes with a beard and moustache, sometimes without. His incorruptible body requires no nourishment, but he sometimes accepts fruit or rice cooked in milk as a social courtesy to visiting disciples. Meeting with Lahiri Mahasaya. One of Babaji's most important encounters was with Lahiri Mahasaya, an accountant who became one of his principal disciples. In 1861, Babaji appeared to Lahiri in the Himalayas and initiated him into Kriya Yoga, a powerful technique of spiritual realization. Lahiri was entrusted with spreading this teaching throughout the world, and so he did, bringing Kriya Yoga to thousands of people. The appearance to Yogananda. In 1920, Babaji appeared to Paramahansa Yogananda, a young monk destined to become one of the key figures in the spread of Kriya Yoga in the West. Babaji told him, "You must go to America to spread Kriya Yoga. Do not be afraid, you will be protected by divine power." Yogananda obeyed and spent more than 30 years in the West, touching the hearts of thousands with his teachings. The promise of immortality. Babaji promised never to leave his physical body, remaining visible to a select few on this earth. His tangible presence is a source of hope and inspiration for those seeking the truth. As his godsister Mataji said, "Immortal Guru, if there is no difference, then please never leave your body." And Babaji replied, "So be it. I will never leave my physical body." Babaji's message teaches that the human being is not a limited entity, but part of an immense field of universal consciousness. Kriya Yoga techniques, based on the control of breathing and the senses, offer a systematic method to accelerate spiritual growth and awaken the Kundalini, the primordial force located at the base of the spine. In addition to meditation, Babaji recommends the practice of Seva, selfless service, as a way to purify the heart of selfishness and connect with universal compassion. The story of Nagarajan. The story of Babaji begins with a boy named Nagarajan, born in 203 BC in Parangi-Pedai, Tamil Nadu. Nagarajan, whose name means king of snakes, was considered blessed from the moment of his birth. His father, a priest at the local temple, soon recognized a different aura in him than usual. Anyone who met him was impressed by his penetrating gaze, which seemed to contain a profound wisdom. However, life tried to test him in a harsh and unexpected way. At the age of just 5, Nagarajan was kidnapped and taken to Calcutta, where he was sold into slavery. In a city full of people and contrasts, light years away from the tranquility of his home, Nagarajan experienced the pain and loneliness of no longer having a familiar point of reference. However, Providence intervened. His new owner, a man of compassionate spirit, was touched by the child's innate sweetness. After observing him for some time, he decided to set him free, giving up any benefit he might have gained from him. Thus, Nagarajan, now familyless and homeless, found a new beginning. Meeting Siddha Boganath. Driven by an inner energy that never left him, Nagarajan joined a group of wandering sannyasis. These ascetics, known for their choice to renounce the material world, lived from day to day, subsisting on offerings and spiritual contemplation. They were men of few words, but full of inner light, and it was from them that Nagarajan learned his first true life lessons: the strength of humility, the power of prayer, and the importance of trust in a greater good. Meanwhile, his thirst for knowledge led him to delve deeper into India's spiritual tradition. During his travels, he gained access to the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, and the Bhagavad Gita, ancient texts that have inspired seekers of truth for centuries. At the age of 11, Nagarajan undertook a long pilgrimage, on foot and by boat, to Kataragama, Sri Lanka, together with a group of itinerant ascetics. This sacred place, known for its temples and the intense devotion of its visitors, hosted one of the most important meetings in Nagarajan's young life. In fact, it was at Kataragama that he met Siddha Boganath, a teacher surrounded by an aura of profound wisdom. Boganath almost instantly recognized the boy's spiritual potential and took him on as a disciple. Initiation into Kriya Kundalini Pranayama. From Siddha Boganath, Nagarajan learned the meaning of a deep and rigorous sadhana, hours of meditation, breathing practices, and prayers directed to that universal energy that permeates everything. Upon meeting Boganath, Nagarajan felt he had found a spiritual home. No matter how grueling his days were, filled with discipline and mental exercises, his heart finally felt nourished by a sense of belonging and purpose. It was Siddha Boganath himself who prompted him to go to Siddha Agastya to receive a special initiation into Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, or Vasi Yogam. Vasi is a word that evokes the mastery of breathing, mind, and vital energy, while yoga means union with the divine. This yogic practice represents one of the highest and oldest teachings, focused on the transmutation of internal energies and the awakening of Kundalini, the primordial force found, according to tradition, at the base of the spine. Spiritual realization. After receiving initiation from the revered Siddha Agastya, Nagarajan set out for Badranath in the heart of the northern Himalayas. The region was famous for its snow-capped peaks, caves where sages retreated to meditate, and the mystical aura that surrounded everything. Here, in contact with the wildest nature and the magnificence of the mountains, Nagarajan spent 18 months of intense discipline. It is said that in the silence of the mountaintops and in retreat from the distractions of the world, Nagarajan attained self-realization, gaining the ability to transcend the barriers of time and space, as well as mastery of the physical plane. It was during this period that the many names by which he would later be worshipped began to spread. Babaji, Mahamuni, Triambaka Baba, Shiva Baba, Badwa Baba. Each of these names recalls an aspect of his divine essence, pointing to the extraordinary nature of his path. Babaji's story is an invitation to rediscover our divine potential. Through his immortal presence and teachings, he reminds us that life is a gift filled with spiritual potential. If you feel inspired by this story, continue to explore the world of spirituality and share this knowledge with those who are ready to receive it. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss the next videos on these fascinating topics. Thank you for following us, and see you on the next adventure in the world of mystery and spirituality.